I'm Tarot Oracle, and I have a question today from somebody who's doing their first psychic fair. Oh, so I've done about 400 psychic fairs. I had to go actually count. So this is my advice based upon 400 psychic fairs, which is not a big number considering other people probably have much more, etc., etc. But I've been to a lot. So this is my 2 cents on how to do a psychic fair. I've never made this video. Okay, I thought I had. All right, first thing, make friends with everyone, especially the organizer. Although you're not supposed, so here's 2 types of people come into these things. One is, here's my entrance fee, I'm here to see Helen. And the lady up front goes, thank you. Helen is over there. Thank you. And he wanders off. Second type is, here's my entrance fee, I want a tarot reading. Who's good? And the organizer will point out somebody who will take the money. They'll point out somebody who they like. Or, well, it's supposed to be fair. You know, sometimes you're not really supposed to do that. You're supposed to go, thank you for the money. Tarot readers are located over there or whatever. But most of the time, sorry, but the organizer will say, Sarah's great, Fred's awesome, etc., etc. And the guy or gal will come in and round about to one of the people that she pointed to. So that's just how life goes, I guess. It's supposed to be fair, you know, maybe give this person a chance, give that person a chance. But basically, if they like you, they're more likely to point you out as somebody who could read tarot, okay? So that goes for the tarot readers at the event as well. So make friends with them. When it's slow, trade readings with one of the people. Say, hey, you want to trade readings? So sure. So make friends, learn their kids' names, you know, learn their husband's name or whatever. Just make friends with people. And the vendors as well. I've had a lot of business from vendors who knew me. And so the vendor they'd ask the vendor, hey, who's decent with tarot around here? And they'd point to, you know, somebody they knew that was good with tarot. So you can give the vendors a free reading or something like that, but just make friends. The more friends you have at this place, the better. Again, you're going to get references from the table all the way on the other side of the fair. You'll have some lady doing tea leaves, for example, and somebody will do tea leaves, and at the end of the reading, they'll say, hey, I want a tarot reading. Who's good? And again, if you know the person, they're more likely to point you out. So that's the number 1 thing, is make friends. The more friends you have, the better off you're going to be when they slap down the money and they want to know a recommendation. All right, my next recommendation is have a sign that says who you are and what you do. And this should be visible from 20 feet. So here's what happens. People walk the room. They'll walk from over here to over here, and they'll sort of do window shopping of people in the place. And if you don't have a sign, they have no clue who you are. They'll know the next time they're there that maybe they'll remember your face, maybe they won't. But if you have a sign that says who you are and what you do, and it's readable from way far away, then they're going to know, oh, I remember Fred. Fred was here last time. His table looked interesting, and I remember Fred had like 5 people reading over and over and over. He had a lot of business. I'm going to go see what he's about. And they know your name because they saw you last month and they saw your sign. I know it doesn't make any sense. You'd think, hey, why can't they just remember my face? If you have 30 readers, you're probably not going to remember your face. But there's something about your face and your name combo that they remember. And they will come back the next time and get a reading with you, or at least talk to you. The next thing, have a business card that you can hand out. Business card should say who you are, what you do, email, phone, or whatever. Now, for your phone number, it's best to use Google Voice if you like that option. What that is a phone number hosted on Google, and it will allow you to forward that to your actual phone. So you don't have to give out your phone number and risk somebody looking your address up or looking your info up based upon your phone number, whatever. Your Google Voice will forward all the calls to your actual phone. And this goes if you ever change your number, or you lose your phone or you have somebody else's phone or whatever. So if you're at someplace else that you don't have your cell or whatever, you can forward it to a different phone. So Google Voice is nice. You're untraceable. And they're not going to know your address based upon your phone number, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a nice, safe way to have a safe phone number for people to call, because most people will want to call a phone number rather than email you. Most people have life stresses and they're like, oh God, my rent's due. I don't have any money. When am I going to get some money? Or whatever their life stress is, or getting sued, or they just got a divorce and they're emotional. They want someone, tonight or today on the phone. They don't want to email you and wait a week. By that time, whatever the situation is over. So that's my second thing. Business card, your name, what you do, and your phone number, and your web page. So as far as web pages go, you can go on Wix, W-I-X, and they'll make you a free web page. And those things last forever. I've seen Wix pages out there forever, and it's free. I've seen pages on there that are really, really old, and they're still there. So it's a nice, easy, free way to get a web page if you want a web page. W-I-X, link in the description for free. Google Voice, link in the description as well. All right, next piece of advice is be ready to read. I see people that are, because you got slow times, I see people that are on their Kindle or Nook or whatever, and they're on it, they're reading, and people, when they come in, even if it's slow, people notice if you're ready to read or you're not ready to read. And they're not very likely to talk to you if you're not ready to read. So this is my basic presentation. So I have you don't need a bunch of fancy stuff. I have fancy stuff. You don't need it. I've seen plenty of people rake in a lot of cash, and they have some, looks like a quilt they made themselves as a reading cloth. So you don't need fancy stuff. So this is mine. I do a spread presentation like this. So it's this nice spread presentation towards the customer. And then I have my bag or whatever that was holding the tarot. I have that here. And that's on my table. I don't have a lot of anything else. So that's just my opinion on look ready to read. If you have a cloth for a grand tableau, for example, like mine, you can put my cloth out for a grand tableau. It'll have your pictures in it. If you have a cloth for a grand tableau or something, you can have that laying on the table. Just look ready. Again, you don't need fancy stuff. I had this one lady next to me. Oh man, she had customers from the minute that place opened to the minute it closed. Non-stop flow. And I think she was on the bare table. It is like this bare, they'll have a crappy tablecloth, and I think she was on the tablecloth. And it was like this old grungy tablecloth, and she was using it. She had her cards out, and she was raking in the cash. So you don't need a lot of fancy stuff. I just have fancy stuff because I like it. I spoil myself. That's me. All right. And the next thing, obviously, if you can get a front seat, if you can get early enough to get a front seat, obviously that's going to be preferred. Why? Because master the obvious, people aren't going to go to row 35 and then choose that person. They're more likely to choose someone up front. I mean, again, master of the obvious. That's how retail works, right? When you go, the stuff they want to move is up front, and so the same. If the stuff at eye level is the stuff that sells better than the stuff that's on the bottom of the shelf, it's just it's just common sense, right? If you can be up front, if you get there early enough, you can be up front. If you have assigned seats, then yeah, you're probably not going to do that. But if you can get there early enough and you have free seating and you can get up front, somewhere up front, second row, third, you don't want to be the 18th row back, basically, that's what I'm saying. So anywhere up front is nice. Again, you're up front, you're ready to read. Now, some people put merchandise, like they'll have their own cards or whatever, and they'll put that on the table. I found just personally, that was a turnoff, and less people came when I had merchandise. I'm not sure why that is. I guess because people are thinking he's going to try to hard sell me on this merchandise if I get a reading, or I don't know what's going through their head, but I got a lot less business when I put merchandise on the table. And I noticed it as well when people did that and they had merchandise on the table. Now, a lot of fairs won't let you have merchandise anyway on the table because they'll charge you a vendor fee in addition to the tarot fee. So that's just how these things work. Basically, that's it. You're ready to read. You have a smile on your face. You don't look like, you just got a divorce or something. You got that look like you kind of in peace with yourself. You're ready to read. You're in a good mood. And again, when it's slow, read for people in the room. Two things that does. Number one, it makes you friends. Number two, though, it looks like you're busy. And that's sort of social proofing you. So somebody walks in the room, you got somebody, that you're reading with. And obviously when they start walking around, the person that you're reading for will get up and go away so that you can't have business. But people see you. Even if they're getting a reading over here with Helen, they notice you. I guarantee everybody notices you. Everybody knows what everybody in the room is doing. I promise you. Even if they don't look like it, they know exactly what you're doing. So if this guy over here is getting a reading with Helen, he's scanning the room while he's getting the reading, or he gets up and he sees that you're busy, then you're more likely to get a reading later when he comes back. This is just my 2 cents, but this is what I've noticed. The more social proofing you have, the more likely you're going to get a reading. Even if you don't get it from that guy that day or that girl that day, later when they come back, you're more likely to get a reading. So again, when it's slow, give readings to other people. Obviously, when somebody comes in, a new customer comes in, cut your reading shorter and make yourself available for the new customer. But that's just my 2 cents. Another thing is people that come to these things are very, very knowledgeable about tarot. A lot of them probably know more about tarot cards than you do. So when people sit down, don't assume that they're completely new to tarot, because they're going to have a specific question they want you to answer. They already asked a couple more people in the room, but they want you to answer it, and it's your opportunity right now. And they already know what the tarot cards mean. So if you throw down this particular card, they know what that means. Everybody knows what that means. So again, understand that they know what it means, and you can sort of reference that by saying, the traditional meaning of the card is this, but in this situation, I see it interacting with this other card. So again, and card interactions is something that you can use to your advantage. You can talk about card interactions and have a bunch of interactions going on in the cards, and you can sort of teach the person, don't turn it into a lesson, but you can sort of put in a couple of comments that teach the person about card interactions. Say, I use card interactions, this is interacting with this, and because she's moving over here to this card, I see that being this situation, or et cetera, et cetera. So now you've introduced something interesting and you've made yourself unique, because now you're using, card interactions, or you're using the Thoth deck. So the more uniqueness you have about you, the more likely people are to come back, and the more likely people are to refer you to their friends. I had one reading to where the lady got on her phone and immediately called her sister and told her to come out and get a reading from me, because I was like dead on with so much stuff that she was kind of getting creeped out. So her sister came and got a reading with me as well, and that lady came back a lot, and she turned into one of those, here's $10. I want to go see Tarot Oracle. Thank you. He's over there. So again, these are just my suggestions, my things about what to do at a fair, basically. So the most thing is just have fun, right? Enjoy the experience. If you're miserable and you don't earn a lot of money, you're going to be more miserable. Just go and have fun and be there and pay your dues to have half a table or a full table or whatever, and just be there and enjoy yourself and have fun. And you'll give off that vibe of, this person is really cool, and this person is open, and they seem nice and friendly. I want to go get a reading with them. So again, the more fun you're having, even I used to, man, when I was at I had this lady that sat next to me. We became like best friends, and we would joke nonstop about everything. And we're always like over there just laughing and stuff. When it was slow, we'd just be sitting there laughing and joking around. And man, I mean, those are fun times. So anyway, that was my 2 cents. If you have suggestions for this person, please leave it in the comment below. And of course, hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.